Your Lending Era, the podcast where we dive into the world of residential, business and commercial finance, bringing you expert advice, tips and strategies to help you navigate the intricate landscape of lending in Australia. I'm one of your hosts, Jessica, and in today's episode we will be discussing our favourite topic, ourselves. Today with me I have our Managing Director, David Thomas, Vanilla Dave, as he is known to most of us, and our Senior Financial Strategist, Hope Batchelor.
Hey, Jess.
How are we doing, guys?
Yeah, we're doing good.
Ready to roll.
Ready to rock and roll. We look it, don't we?
Yeah.
We're so ready. So, Dave, you as the Managing Director of Trilogy, kick us off.
Well, look, I started in Trilogy and started in finance in 2008, right, which was kind of GFC times. And I came to the industry because I had a passion about finance and I had a passion about property. And this was my intro as a kind of junior broker to get my foot in the door and learn a little bit more about the industry and how I could use my knowledge to help people. So that obviously 15 years ago, over that period of time, I've not only taken over the business, but also grown the business as well. So just to kind of, what I really wanted to create was I wanted to create an independent brokerage to help clients obtain their financial goals. And I wanted it to be independent in terms of I didn't want it to be part of a franchise that was going to tell us what we can and can't do. Mm-hmm. I wanted it to be really client focused. And in terms of, those true independent mortgage brokerages that aren't aligned to real estate agents, that aren't aligned to major franchises, Trilogy is qualified in the top 10 on that list for a number of years. So it's really just something I'm very proud of. The business itself, with me at the helm, has settled about $3 billion worth of loans.
That's a big number.
So it is a big number. And obviously that's over 15 years, and that's residential loans, residential investment loans and commercial loans. Me personally, over that period of time, I've done $1 billion worth of lending for clients.
You're a billionaire. On paper, you're a billionaire.
You are.
On paper, I've created $1 billion somehow, probably not for me. And during that time, obviously, there is a ranking for mortgage brokers in Australia. There's about 13,000 or 14,000 mortgage brokers in Australia, and there is actually a list of the top 100 in terms of settlement and volume. Mm-hmm. And I've qualified in the top 100 since 2010. So it's been 13 odd years that I've had and held that ranking. And look, I don't actually think I ever work a day in my life, because it doesn't feel like work. It just feels like
millennia problem.
Yeah, it's really hard.
It just feels like what I do. What I do is chat to clients and try and help them obtain their goals. And that might be buying a house, might be buying investment property, might be buying commercial property. That's just what I do, and I love doing it. And I will do it, on Christmas Eve if that's what someone rings up for. But I just really like doing that. Look, and outside of work life, I've got a young family and a wife, Sarah. And I spend my time mountain biking and snow skiing and fitting in the odd round of golf when I can, and just a lot of travel with the family. Good family time.
Just at that standard coast house on the Gold Coast.
Yeah, nothing too strenuous.
Early head. So, but yeah, look, that's me in a nutshell. So.
Also, just on that quick shout out to Sarah, David's wife. She is one of the best cooks in Canberra.
She 100% is, and she's one of the best women too.
She is the secret behind David's success.
100%.
Very appreciative, and she's put up with me for 26 odd years. So.
Well,
it's because you're a billionaire, mate.
Well, thanks, Dave. Well, I guess I'll talk about myself now. So I'm Hope. I'm a senior broker at Trilogy, and I've been part of the Trilogy team since February 2017, so 6.5 years now. Look, the last 6.5 years for me personally have been a time of substantial growth, both professionally and personally. Dave probably has PTSD from my early broker days.
Don't we all?
We got there in the end.
We did.
It's a rough start.
We did. But, I think that it's amazing what can happen when you fall into the right place at the right time. And I really felt like that's how it all sort of started for me. And I don't like to go on about the things that I've done, because I think the things I'm most proud of are probably, the client feedback that I receive. But I've received multiple awards, such as Young Gun 2020. I qualified for the MFAA Professional Award in 2020 as well. And I've been a Choice Platinum Achiever. So I also don't really feel like I can take complete credit for those nominations. I think that the team that I have around me has contributed to all of that success, and especially Sophie in the office. She's worked really closely with me through that time, and she's brilliant. And I wouldn't, I can safely say I wouldn't have had any of those sort of recognitions if it wasn't for her. And yourself too, Dave, and you, Jess, at one point.
I think it goes without saying, without Sophie, us three wouldn't be here
no,
today.
Absolutely not.
The business wouldn't be here.
She genuinely is the backbone to our business, and we're super, grateful for everything that she does. And as great as those accolades look on my resume, the highest achievement for me personally since my time at Trilogy was becoming a mum in early 2021 to my son Roman, who I'm super proud of. And not only has he made me better as a person, but just more understanding and empathetic as a broker. I think I just understand life. That experience has taught me so much, as all parents know. And it's just really taught me so much more about life that I didn't know before I was a mum.
Yeah, because I think when you're talking to, and a lot of our clients are families, right? So to get into step with a family and how family works, and what their dreams and aspirations are, and what they need to juggle. I think once you walk that path, you can really help your clients so much better in 5-10 year terms.
100%. The things that I think of now when I'm speaking to my clients compared to before I became a mum, I feel like the conversation's completely different, because I just think about things that are relevant now that I do have a child. So that's been extremely fulfilling for me. And I was sort of on a roll before I went on mat leave. I think Jess and I were talking the other day. I think in 6 months leading up to my mat leave, 6 or 7 months, I'd done nearly 58 million. And so I was really worried about taking that time away from my career and being a mum. But I've been lucky enough to be at Trilogy and have the support around me to be able to do both.
Yeah.
And that's been, I love being a mum and I love being a broker. And I'm very fortunate to have the right support around me to be able to do both of those things that I find really fulfilling. I think the greatest value add I have as a broker is that I'm able to create really strong relationships with my clients, and a lot of my clients are now my friends. And I read this thing the other day that said, a client will become a friend faster than a friend will become a client. Yeah. And for me, that has been so true. And that's probably one of the reasons why I really wanted to do this podcast, is because I think, Australia-wide, there's a bit of a narrative that mortgage brokers are like used car salesmen.
Yeah, well, they used to be. They used to be old men that got, retrenched from the bank and then went out and did their own thing. Yeah. And that's not what it's about. Nowadays. No. It's just the industry has moved on.
It really has. And I'm sure there are still, there's definitely dodgy brokers out there, but that's not what we're about. And I just wanted to sort of put out there that there's people that, definitely their moral compasses are in the right place. Yeah. So outside of work and general mum life, I'm a super social gal, love going out, check my Instagram at Hope Westbury.
Little shameless plug, isn't it?
I love to spend time with my friends and family. I have a zest for really good food, great wine. I love to travel and explore new places. So that's probably me in a nutshell. Over to you, Jessie.
Okay. Oh, Jessie. Oh, she's led with it. Hi, guys. I am Jessica Graves. You can call me Jess. Apparently, you can call me Jessie without my consent. That's cool too. So I have been a part of Team Trilogy for 5 years. In September, I actually got my job offer on my birthday in 2018. So
You're welcome.
That was a little angel moment, wasn't it?
That was.
So prior to coming over to Trilogy, I was working for one of the big four locally and semi-regionally around the Canberra area. But then I did make the decision to move over to kind of the mortgage brokering world. And these guys have just touched on the fact that sometimes brokers do get a bad rap, and certainly within the retail banking space, it's pretty bad.
Oh, it would have been.
Yeah, every client, that you hear of going to a broker, the thought pattern was instantly, you did the wrong thing. And I can safely say, since moving over to being in the brokerage space, I have never seen an experience, like I would have expected. It's everything that we're doing is in the best interest of our clients. Profit is obviously why you have a business, but it's not why you operate the business solely. No. So I've really enjoyed coming over to Trilogy. I've been with the team, like I said, for the 5 years, and over that 5-year period, I've worked with Paul, Hope, Nicole, and David. Hope and David, who are here with me today, at some point or another. Back in 2020, I was put next to David solely to just be his right hand to help him with everything that he had going on, because he is a busy guy, the billion-dollar man, if you will. And since working with David in the 2020 space to current, we've settled over $400 million in residential lending.
Yeah, team success. Let's go.
Someone's got to pay for the house in Burleigh, don't they? Which, that number, that's something that I take a lot of pride in. When we're talking about working in retail banking and a branch settling $30 to $50 million for a year was success. Having done pretty much, 135 to 140 per year for 3 years, we're operating at just a level that shows our integrity and our desire to help clients.
Absolutely.
And as Dave also said, we help our clients 365 days of the year, even on Christmas Eve.
Well, you do, mate. He's on the Gold Coast.
Yeah, someone's always in the office, so we're always happy to help out. I don't really have a typical day-to-day. It does depend based on the portfolio at the time. Today, for example, I was liaising, with some clients, banks, a lot of solicitors today actually, and a few developers. I just jump in and assist wherever David needs me, wherever Hope, Nicole, Paul, Sophie, any of the guys in the office, Carrie included, need me. I like to think that I kind of just gel around the office a little bit. I'm probably known for talking a little bit too much in the office.
No, not at all.
No, okay, just some feedback.
But to put forward some positive feedback.
Yeah.
Jess taught me how to use Canva yesterday, and it has been life-changing for my social media. So thank you, Jess.
Dave did also make a reel a few weeks ago, and I don't want to say I'm the key to his success, but...
Mate, good work.
I've helped bring him into the 21st century. So in a nutshell, my job and role within the business is to just make sure that every client's application is approved as efficiently as possible, as smoothly as possible, all of those synonyms, just because we want the outcome to always be exceptional. Outside of the office, I spend my time with my partner of 8 years, Kyra. You both know her.
She's a great girl.
She is, and our fluffy animals. So I've got 2 cats and 2 dogs, and we live in a 3-bedroom townhouse north side. Woo, not south side. However, we are currently building a larger home just outside of Canberra because we needed a backyard for the dogs.
And a pool.
And a pool. But
let's be real.
Mainly the dogs. I feel bad for them, And look, I'm pretty cheap in most areas of my life and stingy, but my dogs, I will drop $500 for those dogs to see them smile. And they don't even appreciate it, if we're honest.
I'm sure they do.
It's just like kids.
Oh, they don't appreciate it.
They don't appreciate it.
They take. On that, I am a pretty prudent person, let's be honest. I pack my lunch every day at work. I hate spending money where I don't need to. A lot of people would call me stingy, some people in this room.
No,
look, I think Dave learned a very valuable lesson the other week when he accidentally ate Jess's lunch.
Awkward.
Mate,
I had to bring that up. I had to.
A little bit of a personal trauma. But look, I do like to look at the way that I manage my finance as just managing my cash flow for success. I meal plan year round for every aspect of my day, and that includes making sure I'm eating seasonal produce that's available at a lower cost, not buying imported goods, things like that. And another thing which does integrate into our field here is my mortgage. So I am debt-free in every aspect of my life at 28, so I'm pretty proud of that.
Mate, you should be so proud
I'm
of that.
stoked, to be honest. So I've got no HECS, car loans, leases, credit cards. She's gone.
Yeah, nice.
But I do check in on my mortgage like a baby. Probably a bad mum if I say every 6 months, but I check in on it every 3 to 6 months because those costs do all add up. And, you know, $1,000 here or there, it's substantial over a 30-year loan term. I did grow up in regional New South Wales in the early 2000s during that millennium drought. I know, David, you were around at that point. Hope was back over in New Zealand at boarding school.
Country,
living the hard life.
No, I was behaving myself at boarding school. That's exactly what I was doing.
So I think that climate around us at the time really shaped the way that I view money in the world. I purchased my first property with the help of Trilogy Funding, funnily enough, at the ripe old age of 23, and I purchased my second property only a few years ago when I was 26, and that's where we're building the house at the moment. And look, I'm pretty proud of that in terms of having 2 properties under my belt before I'm the age of 30. It's not something that I would have thought to be attainable if I had have said, where will I be in 10 years? You know, this time 10 years ago, I was in year 12. Sitting my HSC, being a superstar, let's be honest. I was great at school. So I'm really happy with how far I've come in regards of that. With that in mind, I can say with confidence that I know the sacrifice that comes along with having those successes in life. So getting into the modern property market, it's no easy feat for anyone at any age of any circumstance, you know, unless you were born and handed $400,000.
Yeah, bank of mum and dad.
Yeah, it's just not feasible for everyone at every point in life. That said, there is always something that we can do, which is what I really love about Trilogy, is the planning that goes into setting people up for success. And I know for myself, having started working at Trilogy, I wasn't thinking of buying a property. I thought I was, maybe wait till I'm 30, the normal thing to do. Within 3 months of working at Trilogy, I had reshaped my own expectations of myself and what was possible.
It's because we onboard someone and we're like, how much debt can we get this person into?
It's actually true. They probably looked at me and said, let's lock her in on a salary so we can make her stay. But it is those things, coming from, again, that small country town, what you think is achievable, what we see as the norm is, mum and dad with 2 kids buying a property then. But it doesn't have to be that way. And a lot of our clients, of late especially, we're getting young 20-year-old males, females, couples breaking the stereotypical norms and coming to us for help.
So, which is the best part of the job, because you're helping someone obtain something that they didn't think that they could have done.
No.
And the best part of my job is when someone comes in and says, I've already been to see a broker and they said that I couldn't do this. And I say, well, based off what we've been through during our structure meeting, we can do this. And just to see the look on their face change and to see them get excited about something, that is so fulfilling for me.
And that's the thing. What we do, it's very rarely a no, it's a next time.
Yeah, that's right. Sometimes it's no for now, but this is a 3-month or this is a 6-month or this is a 12-month plan.
Yeah.
And there is an end in sight.
But at least we can put that plan in place for them instead of them trying to just sit there and stab in the dark and not know what they're reaching for.
Absolutely.
Then I think probably the longest time I've ever worked with a client towards achieving something would have been 2 years or more.
Yeah, absolutely. I've got those clients.
Yeah. So it's not like we can't help them now, write them off. It's a journey that you start together.
No. And I'll say there is nothing more satisfying than helping mum and dad with their 2 teenage kids. 5 years down the line, little old Sarah comes in, to buy her first property.
Yeah.
Like the satisfaction that comes with knowing that you've helped their parents and now you're helping the next generation.
Yeah.
It's
a good feeling.
Yeah, you can't beat it. Okay, guys. Well, thank you all for listening in and joining us today while we told you a little bit about ourselves and about Trilogy Funding. From here, we'll be trying to release an episode each week, just detailing a few tips, tricks and insights into residential, business and commercial funding. We'll pop a few resources to our website in the show notes. And other than that, we'll see you next week.
See you then. Thanks, Jess.
Thank you. Thanks, Jess.
We acknowledge the traditional owners and custodians of the land this podcast is being recorded, the Ngunnawal people. We pay our respects to the elders of the Ngunnawal people, both past and present.